iOS 18 is available right now, and Apple's made some really impressive updates to reminders, calendar, text messages, updates across the entire operating system. So today, we're gonna look at some of my favorite updates that I think are the most applicable for everyday users. So let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the home screen and lock screen. There's some really big updates to the way that you can use your home screen. So I think the most notable now is the ability to move apps wherever you want. So if I go here, you can see I can now move these icons wherever I want. They no longer have to follow the iOS grid that we have always followed. So let's go ahead and leave that right there. You've also got this edit button up in the top left-hand corner. This edit button allows you to add widgets and change different layouts and things, but you can now click on this and click customize. This is where you've got the ability to use light icons, you can use dark mode icons, you can use automatic so it shifts at a specific time of day. You can even use tinted apps to try and match your particular wallpaper. You've also got the ability to make the app icons larger, and you can dim or brighten your background. All really cool, easy updates to use on the home screen. Next, let's move to the lock screen. I'm going to go ahead and swipe down here and click customize. If I click into the lock screen, you've always been able to change the fonts and colors and widgets up here at the top of the screen, but now you can change the two quick action menus at the bottom. So by default, they're flashlight and camera, but I know that I almost never click on those. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the camera. I'm going to click new. You've got a ton of options here from Apple, but third-party developers are going to continue to add options in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and search. There's maybe remote. Let's go ahead and add that. Maybe let's change this one and scroll down and say that this is going to be a particular shortcut. This is really cool because you can choose a shortcut that you've used or created somewhere else. And I'm going to make this directions home and click done. And they are right there on the lock screen ready to be used. Let's talk about iMessage. You and I love sending text messages to our blue bubbled friends, and we're getting some really cool updates here. You can now use tapbacks, which you've always been able to use, but now you can use any emoji you'd like. So you've got the standard ones you're accustomed to, but you can go ahead and click in here. You can respond with whatever you'd like. So let's go ahead and respond with a rocket emoji. This next one is one of my favorites. Maybe you oftentimes forget people's birthday, or you know you need to send a particular text message in the morning. So let's go ahead and schedule that. So let's say I will look at the reports today, but I want to make sure that this gets sent tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go ahead and click this plus icon here. We will click send later, and you can choose the exact date and time. And then all you got to do is click send, and you can always edit it and adjust it or even cancel it in the future. Apple's also bringing RCS, or Rich Communication Service, to the iPhone. So this means when you're messaging your green bubble friends, you're going to get a lot of additional improvements. No more blurry photos, you're going to get typing indicators, and you can even do tapbacks and emoji responses. So it's a nice and subtle update for iPhone users who are messaging non-iPhone users. Next, let's talk about my favorite app on the iPhone, Apple Notes. There are three big improvements that I think you and I will actually use on a day-to-day basis. First off, you can use headings and now stack or collapse messages. So you can see here, if I go ahead and tap on this little arrow, I can go ahead and compress all of these headlines, which makes it a good way to organize your notes that might be a little bit longer or more complex. You've also got the ability to highlight in different colors now. So let's go ahead, select this text. I can now click on the font menu here, and I can choose a color. Let's go ahead and do pink, and we can highlight that right there. Pretty cool and pretty simple, just another great way to organize your notes. The last thing I want to talk about in Apple Notes is the ability to use math notes for equations and graphs. It's really simple and it's really cool. So I'm going to jump into my iPad to make it a little bit easier to show off. So if I simply just type or write 9 times 9 equals, you will see that I can click solve, and it provides an answer in something that looks like my handwriting too, which is pretty crazy. Let's try something a little bit more complex though. Let's go y equals x squared plus 7. It'll go ahead and it will insert a graph, and we've got it right there. Pretty cool, and this would be a great asset if I were still in college studying calculus. Last but not least, let's talk about Apple Reminders and Apple Calendar. They've got a big update that now integrate the two tools into each other, which is just incredible. If I go ahead and open up the Calendar app, you can see that when you go to the month view, there's actually 3 new ways to look at this. You've got a more expanded view. You can make this more of a stacked view or a compact view. But the real power comes in the ability to add reminders and events. Let's go ahead and add a reminder and say print reports. We're going to do this today at 9 p.m. and we will click add, and you can see it is right there. That is also right in my reminders app now, and it is an instant integration between the two. I've got a full video showing how to set this up and how it works, so I'll leave a link down below. So those are my favorite things in iOS 18 that I know I'm going to use on a daily basis. If you learned something new, or maybe I missed something really important, go ahead and drop it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.